From Brno, Czechia, group play continues in day one of competition of the FIBA U19 Women's Basketball World Cup. It is Portugal facing Canada. Hi, everybody. This is Aaron Sanders. Glad you're able to join us as we prepare for the first play in Group B competition between these two teams. Earlier today, it was France taking care of business against Brazil, 83-47. And later on today, you'll see the host team, Czechia, play Japan, followed by USA, who is looking to set an all-time U19 women's winning record against Korea. So those are the other teams that are set to play later on today. This is a matter of a team that has big-time experience, a lot of veteran experience in not only U19 play, but in FIBA play in general. You have a look at Team Canada first. They are led by a handful of players, and a multitude of them are one of the players to watch prior to the start of this tournament and MVP watch. Take a look at number 12, Silas Swords, who is from the northern city of Sudbury, the Nickel City, and also plays for the University of Michigan Wolverines. And it also helps when you have a teammate in Mila Holloway to help you out along the way, too. Canada, they qualified by becoming a semifinalist in the U18 America Cup, where they lost to USA in the final. There are three players who played in last year's U17 World Cup team that also fell short to the States back in Irapuato, Mexico last year. So this is a team that's out for vengeance. The last time they made the podium was in 2023 in U19 play, where they ended up getting bronze. Portugal, on the other hand, they have a lot going for them. This is their first ever appearance in the U19s, and a handful of their roster came from the U18 Eurobasket. They qualified by placing in fifth. One of the players to watch coming for Portugal is Clara Silva, the center, who is first in points per game, averaging 18.7 and 7.6 rebounds a game. She was also part of the All-Star 5. Portugal comes into this game ranked 11th in the PR rankings, the power rankings, I should say, prior to the tournament. 17th in FIBA World Rankings and Group B play as well. Canada, not only third in the power rankings, but third in the world. So this is Portugal's maiden voyage in the U19 Women's World Cup, and we're going to see spectacular talent on the floor from Brno, Czechia in just a moment. We'll step aside for the national anthems. A historical moment for Portugal as they hear their anthem played in U19 competition for the very first time. There's a look at the two head coaches for Portugal, Agostinho Pinto for Portugal, and for Canada. This is an interesting setup for Canada. We'll get to that in just a few moments, but Marlo Davis, who is head coach for the U18 America team, having another go at coaching Team Canada. Once again, Portugal's first ever appearance in U19 play. Handful of talent, and you can tell they're ready to go. Team Canada still practicing, still warming up. There are a handful of players that are known not only provincially but nationally for Canada. Your officiating crew for this contest: from Puerto Rico, you have Julie Reis Guzman Lariano. From Turkey, you have Siso Gungar. And from Spain, you have Sandra Sanchez Gonzalez. Again, this is Aaron Sanders. Glad to have the call for you and glad to be back on the call for another great FIBA tournament. Last weekend, we wrapped up competition for the FIBA U19 men's portion where Team USA took care of business against Germany. Starting five for Canada: Ife Nawobi, along with Jasmine Basco, Sila Swords, Avery Howell, and Sierra Parchment. One on the left from the U19 team. And Marlo Davis has not only great talent on the floor, but it's part of his coaching staff too. You have Natalie Achanwa, the assistant coach, also the assistant head coach for Michigan, captain for Canada in last year's Olympics, her fourth Olympics overall, and played in the WNBA. And there's your starting lineup for Portugal: Rita Nazario, Emma Karim, Clara Silva, Maria Enderino, and Marta Rodriguez. Portugal looking to make a name in U19 play. And think about it, when we saw the men's portion of the U19s a couple of weeks ago, we saw Switzerland, the host team, make a huge splash. They made it all the way to the quarterfinals in their first ever appearance in the U19s. Germany making their first appearance in the final when it came down to the gold medal game. And we hope to see the same kind of splash and effect in the women's U19 as we are well underway into the tournament. We are moments away from tip-off. We'd like to welcome a handful of you tuning in to the FIBA YouTube channel. You have the opportunity to become a FIBA YouTube member, whether it be way of a rookie membership all the way to MVP. You can unlock exclusive content and be the first to watch our latest videos, and you can have access to our Discord server where commentators like yours truly will moderate a Q&A session throughout the entire tournament and more exciting perks. So be sure to join the FIBA YouTube membership now. And also, don't forget to play the U19 Women's World Cup Game Predictor on the official FIBA U19 Women's World Cup website. Checking earlier this morning, when it comes down to this game, 95% of you said that Team Canada will take the victory in Group B play. Once again, Canada approaching the U19s, ranked third in the power rankings and third in the world. Portugal 11th in power rankings and 17th in the world. Again, we're glad you're tuning in with us. Tip-off will be performed by Clara Silva for Portugal and Ife Nawobi of Canada. And the jump ball sails out of bounds, and Portugal will get the first chance as it's game on from Burnville. The ball now is Rita Nazario. One of the fantastic guards in the U18 Eurobasket. Nice slip underneath. That doesn't go for Emma Kareem. The putback is a no-go for Clara Silva. Team Canada's first chance and on the move. Jasmine Basco, part of the U19 team last season. And she has that sent back. Portugal making their presence known underneath the rack. Marta Rodriguez, the shooting guard, slices into the left side, misses the finger roll. Back ahead is Avery Howell as Basco plays it. Looking around is Silas Swords as she kicks it out to Avery Howell. That three doesn't go. Opening moments in this Group B contest between Canada and Portugal. Neither team has scored yet, but that may change with Ife Nwobi racing to the other end. She misses. Try to follow up with a second chance. That doesn't go. How about Jasmine Basco? You bet. Off of a broken play, Jasmine Basco gets the scoring to begin as Canada has the early lead. That was almost ordered away. Maria Andronino fighting hard for the rebound with Nwobi. Canada early lead, behind the back dribble from Basco. Goes for the jumper after the behind the back dribble. Here's Silas Swords for three. In her 7th FIBA event, she gets on the scoreboard in the U19s. Here's Rodriguez, met by Nwobi. Avery Howell on the move. Swords gives it back to her. In and out for Howell. We played 2 minutes between Canada and Portugal. Canada up 6-0. Nazario underneath. Rodriguez. Yes! Not only the first bucket of the game for Portugal, but their first ever in the U19 Women's World Cup. Marta Rodriguez will be part of a history question for Portugal in this level of tournament. It was the first one to get the first 2 points for Portugal. So number 26, Marta Rodriguez is your answer. As I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, 7 of these players have played in the U18 Eurobasket, the team in which Portugal placed 5th in order to qualify. The N1 is good for Rodriguez, and they have halved their deficit. For the handoff from Brooke McLeod, who just checked in, we have an offensive foul. And that's on Jasmine Basco, who has 2 silver medals in her name in FIBA play. Or I should say, part of the U19s 2 years ago. Canada placed bronze. She's a double medalist, got bronze 2 years ago, took the silver home in the U19, U18 America. Quick foul after the inbound. For those of you tuning in Canada, you have seen a handful of these players before, not only in FIBA play, but in the OSBA. We want to say a quick hello to those representing the OSBA. Head coach Marlo Davis, the head coach of the Crestwood Prep Academy team, who ended up becoming finalists in the OSBA championships earlier this year, where they fell short to Capital Courts Academy. And CCA was coached by Fabian Blizzard, who also has experience in coaching Team Canada. She is now head coach of the U16 team. And there are 3 players that played in the OSBA this past season. Again, Capital Court defeating Crestwood in the finals. One of the OSBA alumni is Marie Grace Tolley, part of Crestwood Prep. Same with Brooke McLeod and Rachel Okoko, who played for Capitol Courts Academy. More on that later. In the meantime, Emma Kareem tees up a three. That doesn't fly. Over the shoulder save. What a play! And it doesn't finish with Emma Kareem's layup. That would have been play of the day material. Underneath is Brooke McLeod, who gets her first two. The Crestwood Prep player from Markham gets her first two in the U19s. Here's a three. Good. A huge three as Portugal's still in it. Played nearly 3 minutes. Three ball doesn't go for Agat McKeer. Crestwood Prep alumni who won the championship last year under head coach Marlo Davis. That was a Crestwood team that went undefeated, and they were this close from accomplishing that this year. Here's the pass to Endorino. Ball poked around, retained. 5 on the 24. Down low, Clara Silva. Silva on the drive and draws the foul as the shot clock horn goes off. Rachel Okoko committing the foul with 6:14 to go in the opening moments. This free throw up and in for Silva. Definitely relied on as she was part of the All-Star 5 in the U18 Eurobasket, averaging close to 19 points per game. That is best in that tournament, along with close to 8 rebounds. She goes 2 for 2 on the trip. We are tied at 8. Dribble drive, Brooke McLeod. Silas Swords from Sudbury. The Michigan Wolverine kicking it out to the corner. Now this is Mila Holloway, her teammate for the Blue and Maize. She spots up. And the air ball is controlled by Nazario as she heads to the other end. Rodriguez gets the rock, goes for the baseball pass. Here's a three ball. That's no good. Cloud trying to get the rebound. We have substitutions being made. Opening moments, first quarter. Marta Rodriguez responsible for Portugal's 6 points, and that's taken away. Rita Nazario on the floor. She is met by Holloway. They say the foul is on Endorino as Holloway has a seat. And Canada regains possession. Pressure applied. Nice no-look pass. Here's a three for Swords as she gets it in. Silas Swords keeping busy in FIBA play. No doubt about it. She played in the Women's America Cup a few days ago. Here's the spot-up jumper. That doesn't fly. And here comes Agat McKeer, one of the best in Canada, as she gets the teardrop. And she definitely showed why she is one of the best north of the border. A Thunder Bay, Ontario native, getting her first two. Emma Kareem. Overhead pass, back to Silva. Silva one-on-one with Parchment as she flings it back to Nazario. That shot goes. Took some time, but you know what they always say, patience is a virtue. And Nazario, who averaged 6 points per game in the U18 Eurobasket, makes it 13-11. Scratch that as Sierra Parchment goes from downtown to make it 16-11. Rodriguez. Deep to Silva. Gets the move on Parchment and misses off the glass. She stumbles as we approach the 4-minute mark in the first quarter. And Andorino heads to the bench. Canada will get possession again. Both teams with 3 fouls. Mila Holloway in the lineup. Feed underneath. And Silva gets the foul. And Portugal out of fouls to give. You see the easy feed to Ifi Nwobi. Clara Silva ready for her underneath the basket. There's a little too much of her space. Ifi Nwobi. First free throw goes in. Another member of the U18 AmeriCup silver medal team picked up 6 points a contest. Here's another one. That goes off. Swords on the rebound. And it's upstairs to Holloway. Holloway, she has a screen coming for her. Uses it thanks to Nwobi. 5 to shoot. Swords slices from three-point land. Not surprising considering how deep she could shoot the rock. And she was able to do it off of the assist from her Michigan teammate, Mila Holloway. We'll take a timeout as Canada takes the early lead in Group B play. This is the FIBA U19 Women's Basketball World Cup.
That is unbelievable. These guys will be legends in their own country, but also in the international basketball world.
And we're glad you're joining us wherever you may be. For those tuning in on YouTube, let us know where you're tuning in from by using the live comments. Always appreciate the pleasure of your company. It's glad to be back to do another FIBA tournament. Less than a week ago, we signed off from the FIBA U19 Men's World Cup. Justin Taylor and I had the call for the gold medal game between USA and Germany, in which USA was able to pick up their 9th gold medal as they are deemed the U19 Redeem Team after missing the podium a couple of years ago. Portugal back on the floor, same with Canada, as Portugal is behind by 9, thanks to a 3 from Silas Swords, who has been a catalyst from downtown. Here's the steal from her. She tees up an air ball this time, and it's scooped up and put on the floor by Nazaria. Portugal's first ever appearance in the U19 Women's World Cup. Down low, Clara da Silva gets some room, goes for the Flamingo floater, and she falls short on that. This is day 1 of competition in the U19s. We thank you all for joining us. Be sure you stick with us for the next week and change. We'll have the call here on the FIBA YouTube channel. Myself, Michael Soroti, Justin Taylor, Jacinda Govind, Glenn Marmer, and Greg Fada. 9 on the 24. Swords trying to break it to the other end of the floor. She does. Looks around at the paint, kicks it out to the wing. Here's Mila Holloway trying to match up her jersey number, but that ball flies behind the backboard. We'll have a look at the other scores throughout the game. We're in Group B play. Portugal 11th in the power rankings, 17th in the FIBA World Rankings. Canada 3rd in the power rankings and the FIBA World Rankings as well. Nice ball movement. Nazario drains it. Patience is definitely a virtue for Portugal. Rita Nazario gets the bucket under 2 minutes to go in the first. Big thank you from Eric Z, or Zed, tuning in from the Nickel City. I was there last year. Nice runaway layup, and it goes in for Sierra Parchment. Sierra Parchment, part of the U17 silver medal team from a year ago. And once Parchment saw that Leonora Pecino gave her that left side, she took advantage of it. Both teams over the foul limit with 1:39 to go. Magda Freya coming in as Coach Agostino Pinto using a handful of his bench, closing out the first. Emma Kareem passes it back up to the logo. And Freya misses from up front. Swords on the move. Give and go to Mila Holloway. Yes, and it counts. The Maize and Blue definitely having an appearance here in the U19s as it's Wolverine to Wolverine off of that fast break play. Mila Holloway having a couple of points. Canada with an early lead. They were up by double digits. And one is good to make it 25-14. Canada making adjustments. In the meantime, it is Holloway, Swords, and McKeer making up for the full court pressure off of the inbound. It takes all 90-plus feet of the floor for Sophia Souza to sky in for a runaway layup. Emma Brown tuning in from Toronto. Thank you for joining us. I'm not far away from Toronto, a few hours away, calling this game via way of Windsor, Ontario. Shot down low, and that goes down. As Marie Grace Tully gets her first bucket, look out. Hard tumble. Marie Grace Tully, one of the Crestwood Prep Academy players. The OSBA season picks up her first foul with 41.5 seconds to go. Once again, this team, Canada, has a handful of players with OSBA experience. I had the pleasure of calling the OSBA championships this past March with the voice of the OSBA, J.J. Everson and Sydney Holmes. They have done an exceptional job in calling the action for the OSBAs. A big thank you to them, along with Ryan Xavier and Anthony Bennett. What a great opportunity. Incidentally, Silas Swords has 9 points so far, all of them coming from beyond deep. As Portugal tries to answer the call on that, but unable to. Swords gets another rebound. Mila Holloway, a little bit of a heat check from her as she goes one-on-one with Magda Freya. Swords up top of the elbow. Gets it back from Howell. 10 on the 24. She slices and dices, misses it. Foul drawn by Grace Tully. Sarah Rodriguez on the foul as she tried to play it underneath. Let it go for the block behind Marie-Grace Tolley. Again, a handful of players that have came from the OSBA. You got McKeer for 1, Tolley for 2, McLeod and Okoko. Marlo Davis coaching not only his Crestwood Prep players, but the opposition for which defeated Crestwood for the championship, and that would be Capital Courts Academy. Final second of the first. That is taken away by Swords. She has 1 to shoot, off to McKeer, and she doesn't get it off in time. But Team Canada has the 27-16 lead over Portugal at the end of 1. We'll have the second quarter in a moment from Brno. This is the FIBA U19 Women's Basketball World Cup. From Brno, Czechia, welcome back to the FIBA U19 Women's Basketball World Cup. Canada with the lead over Portugal as we are moments away from the second quarter. Aaron Sanders on the call. A big thank you to Eric Z, or Zed, for those tuning in Canada, for the heads-up information that Silas Swords played for Lowell and Prep, the OSBA, 4 years ago. So a handful of OSBA talent, definitely. A lot of great action so far in the U19 Women's World Cup. Earlier today, we saw Julia Priest of Brazil tying an all-time record in blocks in a single game with a total of 8. Canada starts with the ball in the second quarter. In and out dribble, almost thwarted. Basco pulls it up and misses. Fighting for the ball is Olivia Lung, who checked in for the first time. And off of the tie-up, possession arrow will go by way of Portugal. Great heads-up play from Olivia Leung. Maria Andorino will play it in to Anna Marquez. Opening matchup in group play for both Portugal and Canada. They are in Group B. Portugal's first ever game in the U19s. Ball batted away by Leung. And here comes a break for Canada. Swords doesn't get it from the corner. And it's Freya up on the sideline. Quick bounce pass ahead. Corner 3. That goes off the glass. Jasmine Basco. Nice head and shoulder fake from Leung. We played a minute in the second. Handoff, 3 ball. Basco, that doesn't fall. And another chance as Leung in Canada gets it back. She has her chance from the corner. That hits the net, but it doesn't go through. Well, we have this stoppage of play. Let's take a look at the box scores and leading scores for both teams. Rita Nazario and Marta Rodriguez leading the way with 6 points for Portugal. And Silas Swords has 9 points, all of them coming from three-point land, in which she is 60%. We are close to 3 p.m. local time in Czechia, 9 a.m. Eastern time. For those tuning in on the FIBA YouTube channel. Portugal, they have displayed great ball movement in the middle of the first quarter. We'll see if they'll be able to utilize that again as the shot clock winds down. Rodriguez flings it to Silva, who misses it up the top, and Rodriguez is there to pick it up. Endorino. Silva met by Parchment. Unable to get the floater. Parchment having trouble as she was flustered by Freya. Out on the break is Jasmine Basco, and she is called for traveling. Basco slipped, in which she picked up her dribble. It'll be Portugal ball. To go with Maria Endorino checking off. Once again, a handful of you have predicted that Canada will win the game, thanks to the U19 Women's World Cup game predictor. You see some great action in group play early on. Here's another Flamingo floater that goes off the mark for Silva. Here's the drive, Basco underneath the Parchment, and she is denied by Silva. Look at that, Parchment did a good job, first and foremost, getting the pump fake on Clara Silva. The moment you get that pump fake and your opponent's feet leaves the ground, you can either get an easier shot or take the contact. Canada leads by 11 with 7:10 to go in the half. Sofia Souza got her first field goal earlier. Nice backdoor cut to Emma Kareem, and they swing it outside to the wing. That goes down. Marta Rodriguez. And I mentioned it would be the perfect time to see the great ball movement from Portugal. That's definitely an example. Avery Howell back into the game as she gets it from Holloway, who slides it underneath for Sierra Parchment. Parchment in last year's U17 Women's World Cup, in which Canada won the silver medal incidentally, she had some outstanding plays. She did not score much, but she scored when it mattered the most. Underneath, Silva gets the backdoor feed as they eclipse the 20-point mark. I remember all this in calling the U17s a year ago. Behind the back dribble, almost went awry for Basco. Parchment, she was feeling the three, misses it. Nadia Nyech in for the first time, has her possession taken away by Silva. There's the runaway shot from Souza. That doesn't go, but she picks up the foul. Jasmine Basco on the foul. Nadia Nyech getting some instructions from Marlo Davis, who is kept pretty busy this year. The finalist of the U18 AmeriCup team saw his undefeated streak in the OSBA of more than a year come to a close to Capitol Courts Academy. Interestingly enough, Rachel Okoko was part of CCA that won the title back in Scarborough. Second free throw for Sophia Souza goes down to make it 29-22. Portugal really making a statement in this, their maiden voyage to the U19 Women's World Cup. 5:40 to go until halftime. Here's the look. Underneath, shot goes as Ifine Wobi gets the deuce. Quick baseball pass, Rodriguez feeds it back to Nazario. 8 to shoot, that doesn't fall. Holloway the rebound. Swords on the outlet. McKeer for three. Too strong. Halfway mark, second quarter. Canada with the lone team foul. Both of these teams had 3 fouls with about 3 minutes to go in the first. Discipline really paying off, especially on Portugal's side. 2 to shoot. Silva fires away and hits. And you do not want to give that space for Clara Silva. That's where she does her damage. The moment she could get the ball 10 feet away from the basket, she could either explode or go for the turnaround jumper. Holloway looking for a screen from Nwobi. Cuts in right side. Down low, Swords flings it away and gets it down. So Silva on one end getting a fade away from the side. And Silas Swords answers the call for Canada. Silva misses it. She would have had 2 baskets in 2 plays. She's looking for a 2-for-2 opportunity. Portugal trying to slice this deficit even more. And McKeer disappointed that she wasn't able to keep it in bounds. Once again, let us know where you're tuning in from as Mila Holloway has a seat. We have a handful of fans tuning in from Portugal and in Canada. Sudbury and Toronto fans, of course. Let's hear from Portugal's side of things. We've heard from a couple. Silva met by the double team, and that's taken by Howell. Sierra Parchment on the run, feeds it over to Swords, goes up and down and puts it in. She was able to get the fake on Marta Rodriguez, and that leads into a Portugal timeout. Rodriguez was taken out of the play the moment Silas Swords got that pump fake in. And it's another run from Canada as they are outscoring Portugal 8-6 in the second quarter. They lead by 9.
That is unbelievable. These guys will be legends in their own country, but also in the international basketball world.
Hope you're enjoying the game, everybody. Canada leads Portugal 35-24 with 3:30 to go in the half. Portugal has stuck with it since the opening minutes. And they are being led by a plethora of players. Marta Rodriguez now the leading scorer with 9. Pull-up J doesn't fall. We'll look at the other scores on the next play. Nice move from Nwobi as she draws the foul off of Andoreno. Again, the talk of the town right now is Team Brazil, as they were led by a key shot blocker in Julia Priest. Total of 8 blocks. In one of the opening contests in the FIBA U19 Women's World Cup. Second free throw is a miss for Nwobi. And Portugal did an outstanding job of boxing out, including Leonor Pecino. She sets the screen for Souza. And now it's Kareem who'll try a 3. That goes off the front iron, is picked up by McKeer. It is a 4-on-3 for Canada. Nice save. Parchment for 3. Splish, splash, cash for Sierra Parchment. Definitely making a first impression here in the U19s. Here is Souza. She's had some clean looks in the first quarter, but hasn't had a lot in the second. That shot goes off the window and out for Rodriguez. Parchment on the run. She has the hot hand. She goes to McKeer. You see Canada shooting about 33% from outside. Portugal 40. We haven't seen a lot of 3 balls from Portugal. Holloway letting the play breathe for a little bit. Shot clock reads 7. Bounce pass, McKeer. McKeer, the Crestwood prep player, gets it in. Canada reaches 40. Portugal remains at 24. Portugal playing in their first U19 tournament. They were able to claim their spot after placing 5th in last year's U18 Women's Eurobasket. Rosario on the fake out. Marquez from deep. Anna Marcus seals the deal from three-point land, and that breaks the scoring spell for Portugal downtown. Portugal trying to reach 30 before halftime. Swords, top scorer for Canada. Down to 3 of the 24. McKeer, unable to make it. She almost had the rebound. Lets Parchment do it. Loose ball scooped up. Here's Kareem. Now here's Nazario. They work into the far corner. Shot clock reads 10, and they turn it over. That pass was intended for Marquez, who hit the 3 on the last trip down. .50 and 8/10 seconds remaining in the opening half. And Marlo Davis and Canada will have some time to talk it over. They are leading as we approach halftime. And we'll see with Marlo Davis, Natalie Achonwa, the Canadian Olympian, and Courtney Pilipaitis discuss with the team.
These guys will be legends in their own
Earlier today, many of you saw France make a good first impression in Group C play, defeating Brazil 83-47. And so far in the third quarter, which I believe Jacinda Govin has the call, in the game between China and Nigeria, China ahead 46-38 as they just started the second half. 50 seconds to go in the first half between Canada and Portugal. Canada with the lead. And at 11 o'clock, we'll see Spain and Argentina go one-on-one. Silas Swords back into the game, along with Holloway, Talley, McLeod, and Howell. Here's a three from Howell. That doesn't fall. Marcus tight-roping the sideline, has that stripped away. Holloway. Back to Holloway. Holloway back to Howell. And on the drive, Howell was met by Rita Nazario. Team Canada with 21 seconds to go haven't been doing well from the foul line. They are now shooting 25%. Portugal shooting 57 at the line. Despite all that, Canada still leading 44% to Portugal's 27. Both free throws don't go down, which is something that may have to be discussed at the break. There's a difference of 6 seconds on the shot clock. Whip around pass, Swords. Can't get it to fall. Holloway follows up. Swords met by Rodriguez. Down to 3. Over to Holloway. Her teammate. Put her there. It is the Blue and Maize connection coming together as the first half draws to a close. 43-27, and it's thanks to the great bang-bang play from Mila Holloway. She was left wide open on the miss, and they capitalized on it. Quick look at the box scores after the first 20 minutes of play. It is Silas Swords with 13, but Sierra Parchment had a strong quarter. She ends up with 10 points, 4 of 7 shooting. They ended up with a total of 29 rebounds. That is a +8 over Portugal, who is being led by Marta Rodriguez, who has 9 points. Field goal wise, Canada 45%, Portugal 27. But Portugal putting on a huge front as they have 3 blocks. We'll be back for the second half in a few moments.
That is unbelievable. These guys will be legends in their own country, but also in the international basketball world.
Education, health, justice. We sometimes take these simple things for granted. They're not common for all of us. We are all born on the same planet, but not with the same opportunities.
Whatever our gender, color, belief, or capability, we are one. We are all on the same team. Let's convince those who never thought they would do it that they can. We can. Together, we are stronger. No matter your origin, basketball can bring everyone together. Basketball for good.
This isn't a moment. It's a time unlike any before.
It's not a request, not a maybe, not a someday. This is now.
Feel our presence, built on strength
And drive, not rising. We are arriving, not hoping, but owning.
This is isn't a moment, it's movement. Constant, relentless.
Every cut, every pass, every shot. Earned. Taken.
Undeniable. The future, it's already here.
Forged in sweat,
Ruled by queens.
When we move, the whole game shifts.
And we're unstoppable in all directions. We own the game.
That is unbelievable. These guys will be legends in their own country, but also in the international basketball world.
Education, health, justice. We sometimes take these simple things for granted. They're not common for all of us. We are all born on the same planet, but not with the same opportunities.
Whatever our gender, color, belief, or capability, we are one. We are all on the same team. Let's convince those who never thought they would do it that they can. We can. Together, we are stronger. No matter your origin, basketball can bring everyone together. Basketball for good.
This isn't a moment. It's a time unlike any before.
It's not a request, not a maybe, not a someday.
This is now.
Feel our presence, built on strength.
And drive, not rising. We are arriving, not hoping, but owning.
This isn't a moment, it's movement. Constant, relentless.
Every cut, every pass, every shot. Earned. Taken.
Undeniable. The future, it's already here.
Forged in sweat,
Ruled by queens.
When we move, the whole game shifts.
And we're unstoppable in all directions. We own the game.
Welcome back to Brno, Czechia, as Canada has a 43-27 lead over Portugal. Less than a minute to go until the third quarter. This is Aaron Sanders on the call. Thank you for joining us wherever you may be. Let us know where you're tuning in from on the FIBA YouTube channel. And don't forget to partake in our FIBA YouTube membership. From rookie to MVP tier status, you'll be able to unlock exclusive content, get our latest videos and exclusive content along with accessing our Discord server. So far for Portugal, they're being led by Marta Rodriguez, who had a good second quarter at the total of 9 points. But Canada is being led by Silas Swords, 50% from outside, 3 for 6, 13 points in total, and Sierra Parchment with 10 points. Combined, Swords and Parchment has scored 23 of Canada's 43 points. But Parchment came alive in the second quarter. As she had plenty of clean looks. So far, Canada is shooting 45% from the field. Portugal 27. And Canada starts the third quarter with the ball. So both of these teams have not fared well from the foul line. Underneath, here is Nwobi. Picked up a couple of field goals in the first half. Goes for the kick out. That's no good. Rebound picked up by Howell. Swords, in and out dribble, and feeds it into Howell. With a quick reset up top, Silas Swords connects for Avery Howell. Nazario, Karim, Pecchino, Silva, and Rodriguez in for Portugal. To the other end, too strong of a layup for Rodriguez. Picked up by Silva. She is met by the double. Goes for the Flamingo floater. That doesn't fall. Silva hits the deck, but gets back up. This is the first game in Group B play for both of these teams. And the opening day of the FIBA U19 Women's World Cup. Quick kick out option underneath. The reverse doesn't fall for Emma Karim. And Silva, or I should say Karim, gets it back. That doesn't go. Gets her own rebound. Second chance coming up for Portugal. Rodriguez slows it down a little bit. Has no choice but to. And that's picked off. Here is Jasmine Basco on the Euro. Was looking for the pass at the last second, but has that taken away. It was just that quick second to look for an open player that really threw her off. Opening minutes, third quarter. Reverse layup doesn't fall for Silva. Avery Howell. Parchment asking for the ball. She has a huge mismatch going one-on-one with Nazario. Instead, Swords takes it herself. Parchment moved out of the way to let Swords get 2 dribbles in and a clear out from the left side. Big welcome to Samuel Hagos, who is tuning in from Winnipeg, Manitoba. Canada leads by 20, their largest lead. Magda Freya to Silva. Rebound picked up by Parchment. A lot of looks for Portugal inside, but they have not been able to cash in. Silva gets it. Kareem on the block. Another chance for Portugal. The interior presence is there for Portugal. Now it's up to Clara Silva and company to go for two. She doesn't on that trip. Portugal has not scored in the first few minutes of the third quarter. Another nice feed. Avery Howell being on the receiving end of it yet again. Rough start for Portugal as Nazario was trying to feed it over. Slapped out of bounds by Swords. Swords will take a quick timeout. Heads to the bench. Again, top scorer for this game. He was able to get a nifty assist down to Avery Howell to start the third quarter. Look at the head coach for Portugal, Agostinho Pinto. Definitely making his country proud, along with the rest of the team. Pull-up jumper, that goes to the wayside, picked up, scooped up, missed by Sarah Rodriguez. Another chance, that doesn't fall. Portugal had several chances, and here's the scoop pass over. Parchment gets hit. It appears the foul will be on Rodriguez. Six and 21 to go. In the third quarter, McKeer will play it in. She barely meets the 5-second count. Gets the ball back off of the inbound. Vasco gets the screen from Rachel Okoko. They go high-low, one to shoot. Vasco flings it away. That goes off the front. Picked up by Freya. Freya returns it to Souza. Souza going behind the back. Puts the moves on Vasco. Shot goes in and out. Heartbreak City for Andorino. Under 6 to go, third quarter. Canada 49, Portugal 27. Howell, she has been on fire to start the third quarter. Howell goes from the corner and drills the triple. 52-27. Souza breaks free, finds Rodriguez. Slips it underneath, 2 passes later, the shot doesn't fall. McCure plants her feet down on the rebound. Draws contact. More games coming up. I will be back on the air, 1:45 Eastern, the game between Israel and Hungary. It's been a rough third quarter for Portugal. They have yet to score. A 9-0 run to start the second half for Team Canada. But over, Agat McKeer makes it. So Agat McKeer, she could score in bunches. She scored 28 points against Egypt last year in the U17s. That's the 4th most scored in the tournament. Ended up with 17.7 points per game last year. And she is making her presence known in the U19 Women's World Cup. Timeout on the floor by Portugal. 12-0 run for Canada. The first 5 minutes of the third quarter. Swords with 15, Parchment 10. And it got McKeer along with Avery Howell doing most of the damage in the third quarter, 7 points apiece. Portugal looking to break their dry scoring spell in the third quarter. 8 on the 24, and it's a smothering defense that pays off. For Team Canada is Mila Holloway is able to retreat. Corner three, that goes down. It's a 3-ball from Olivia Leung. She averaged 8 points per game in the U18 AmeriCup, in which Canada placed silver. 9 on the 24, go-ahead layup doesn't fall for Kareem. Holloway getting by Kareem. And it will stay with Canada. Quick look at the statistics. Canada leading in a majority of them, with the exception of blocks. All 4 blocks in the game have been from Portugal. Canada now shooting 47% from the field. However, their free throw woes continue at 22%. Catch and shoot 3. Leung again, as she makes it rain for a total of 6 points off of 2 trips. And Canada definitely stepping in Group B play. 7 on the 24. Silva puts the moves and doesn't break the scoring spell for Portugal. McKeer, that goes off the foot. And she has no choice but to fling it. But she is called for an 8-second violation. Great closeout defense. Which is the 8th turnover for Canada. Underneath, Marta Rodriguez. Now it got McKeer. She's called for an offensive foul. So she has had back-to-back turnovers, first on the 8-second violation and now on the offensive foul, as she used too much of her shoulder to break away from Rita Nazario. We got McKeer. A year ago played for Crestwood Prep Academy for Marlo Davis, the head coach of the U19s here. They went on an undefeated winning streak, which was broken by Capital Courts Academy in this year's OSBA championship game. Last year, the U17s for Canada was coached by Fabian Blizzard, who is now the coach of the under-16 team. Team Canada, nice closeout. Under 3 minutes to go in quarter number 3. 61-27, that's the score. McKeer in the lane, doesn't get it down. Followed up by Okoko, who doesn't get it either. Ball is poked around all over the place. Who will get it this time? It is a tussle for the ball. 3 white shirts going after it, as they know they had the possession arrow. And good awareness from Portugal, but they have yet to score in this quarter. Maybe that kind of hustle will translate into points the next 2:28. Rosario looking around. Here's the bounce pass over to Kareem. Kareem off the Vieira screen. Nice move, but it's rejected by Nadia Nyech. Holloway goes to the outlet. Another 3, that is good. Splish splash cash for Olivier Leung. All 9 of her points have come from this quarter alone. It has been a 3-point clinic so far. Ball nearly taken away. Nazario prevents that from happening, and the lid has been broken as Emma Kareem goes for three. They get their first point in the third quarter with about 1:30 to go. A three from Yetch, putter there. She was left wide open. You have to be careful. When she played in the U18 Women's America Cup, she averaged 43% a game. Silva gets her first 2 points in the second half. Clara Silva. She read the mismatch perfectly. Look at that. Even though Olivier Liam was right on her left side, she knew she could explode from that side. Liam had her hand caught in the cookie jar on the drive, and it pays off for Silva. She misses the and one opportunity, but nonetheless, Portugal has connected on 5 points on the last 2 trips. Final minute of play, Silva now has 8 for the day. Grace Tale looking for it. Leung can't make it rain from there. But it's another chance for Canada. Holloway matches her jersey number. We're in Group B play. Canada gets 70. Portugal has made a run in the last minute and a half. And Nazario is met by Leung and Tale. It's Tale with the foul. This is the first ever appearance for Portugal in the U19 World Cup. There's a lot of potential for Portugal now as they place 5th in the U18 Eurobasket. First free throw up and in for Nazario. There's a second one, good as gold. Shot clock turned off for the last 15 seconds in the third quarter, which has been dominated by Canada. But that may change as Freya was met in the fray with Tale in the free throw line. A 27-7 third quarter for Canada as they try to wrap it up on a high note. Olivia Leon has scored most of their points. 7 to play. Leon wide open. Goes for the head and shoulders fake. Was looking for the foul. Will not get it. That's it for the third as Canada leads 70-34 as we march on to the fourth quarter. We'll do that from Brno in just a few moments. You are watching the FIBA U19 Women's Basketball World Cup. The U19 Women's World Cup will definitely be a learning process for Portugal in this, their maiden voyage in this level of play. And on the other side, Team Canada really putting on a display, especially in the third quarter where they outscored Portugal 27-7. Portugal did not get a field goal in until the 3:30 mark in the fourth quarter. They begin the fourth quarter with the possession. This is Aaron Sanders on the call. More action coming up as we're close to the halfway mark of day one of competition, the FIBA U19 Women's World Cup. Silva down low, backing down Parchment, and she gets her floater. What's usually her bread and butter, she's had a hard time getting some shots in the third quarter, but that shows a lot of promise as they start the fourth quarter with a shot. Great closeout defense, but on the other end, it's Avery Howell, who has been scoring like gangbusters here in the second half. Avery Howell, along with Ife Nwobi, forcing the double team. And the story, Clara Silva, now the leading scorer for Portugal, 10 points and 6 boards. Canada sharing the ball and sharing the boards as well. They have a total of 47 rebounds. Silas Swords leading the way with 15 points with 4 boards to her name. Sierra Parchment coming alive in the second half with 10. Avery Howell with 9. She's looking to make it 12. She doesn't this time. Underneath is Okoko, and she is met by Silva, who takes the ball. She passed the timeline all by herself without any help. Now she sets the screen. Freya will stay with Portugal. Foul committed by Okoko. Rachel Okoko, part of the OSBA champion Capital Courts Academy. Also part of the U17 silver medal team last year in Mexico. There's a pass taken away by Swords. Parchment going overhead, last touched by Kareem. Canada shooting 47.4% from the field. Here's Silas Swords. Splish, splash, cash yet again. And this is the first field goal from Silas Swords in quite some time. Definitely her first in the second half. She didn't need to utilize her firepower in the second half when you have players like Howell and Olivia Young taking care of business. Backdoor cut over Kareem. She is met by Howell. It's outside of Rodriguez, who makes it rain from the corner. Nice look for Portugal. They're known for their clean looks. And off the window goes down for Basco. Basco already has a silver medal, and that's from the U18 America Cup. And Portugal now scoring in bunches thanks to Claire Silva. She is one of the 2 players that have scored in double digits. The other is Marta Rodriguez, who in turn has 12 points. And here's another break for Portugal. On the run and the reverse, nothing there as Okoko was able to put the clamps down defensively. Holloway unable to get the pass from Parchment as she's able to play it down. 3-ball, Basco. No. Ball was poked around, last touch by Canada. We'll go back to Portugal with 6:52 to go.
More information on the stats and facts about the FIBA U19 World Cup, be sure to go to the official website. Also has the schedule, standings, highlights, the rosters, and more. We played more than 3 minutes in the fourth quarter. Prior to the tournament, Canada was poised to be one of the teams that come out strong in Group B competition. Souza gets it back from Silva. Quick give and go. Portugal's game is swinging the ball around. Almost paid off with McKeer swatting it away. 2 seconds to show on the shot clock. Enough time to get it down, and they do. Rodriguez beats the horn. Mara Rodriguez now has 14, as she is 50% from the field this afternoon. Swords. Quick triangle pass. It ends up with her tight roping the baseline as she feeds it to McLeod. She doesn't get that to fall. Brooke McLeod, no stranger to the system of Coach Marlo Davis. Also plays for Coach Davis in Crestwood Prep. A Markham native. Six minutes, fourth quarter. Quick moves from Emma Kareem as they send it down to the center, Silva. Silva, another mismatch. Doesn't get the bucket. Rebound pulled down by Marie Grace Tolle. Vasco, as she's able to put Rodriguez on skates a little bit there. McKeer at the corner, 7 to shoot, 3 ball off the mark. We have a whistle on the fall back down. Mary Grace Tolle with another offensive foul gives Portugal a chance to score in bunches. And so far they're outscoring Canada 9-7. And the majority of the points have come from Silva. So this time Kareem unable to get the shot down. Clean look for Souza, got it. This is what patience and great ball rotation will do for you. Off the broken play, Souza planted herself upstairs. Was able to get the shot to go down smooth as silk. Will she add 2 more to her resume? Goes for a jump hook, that doesn't go. She was off balance, he had no choice but to put it up. Holloway finds Leung, and Holloway drills the triple. Both Portugal and Canada making these 3 balls easy work. The last few trips down to the floor is 80-46. Canada with the lead. And they were able to get this size of a lead thanks to a 27-7 third quarter. Portugal kept close to this game until the dying stages of the second quarter, in which Canada was able to explode. They led 27-16 at the end of one, led 43-27 at halftime. And Canada has not looked back since the start of this game. They had led by as much as 39 points. Their biggest scoring run, 24-0. And Portugal, this is more than a game to them. Their first ever trip to the U19 World Cup, which will come with a lot of experience and lessons learned, like the shot clock violation they just committed. Not only it's a game, but you learn when it comes to the game of basketball. And Portugal is making their first ever appearance They're learning that early. Tomorrow they'll go 1-1 against China, and then on the 15th they'll wrap up group play against Nigeria before the round of 16. Nice high-low pass for Agut Makir as she gets the 2 off the window. Canada will face Nigeria tomorrow. A lot of all-star talent for Canada, especially for the coaching staff. The assistant coach is Natalie Achonwa, who's played in 4 Olympics for Team Canada and also in the WNBA. Not to mention, she's one of the assistant head coaches for the Michigan Wolverines. Now you find out why Sila Swords and Mila Holloway's been able to play so well and so comfortably in the World Cup. Sofia Souza, been one of the guiding lights for Portugal in the second half. Goes for the first free throw and 2 strong. Marta Rodriguez leading Portugal with 14 points. Silas Swords, 18 for Canada. Second free throw is good. And Portugal showing some discipline, definitely, as they have forced Canada into 3 fouls. And Portugal has a clean slate of fouls, along with some good ball movement. Full court pressure, led by Anna Marcus. The double team nearly paid off. It stays with Canada. Holloway able to pass the timeline. Avery Howell gets it down. And this has been a breakout game for Avery Howell. Since the third quarter, she has scored 12 points. She was 2 of 6 from three-point land. And off of that play, Maria Andorino gets on the scoreboard. They read that double, then triple team perfectly down to the far corner. All the way. Yetch waiting at the corner. Vasco breaking free with 3. Grace Tolley heads to the free throw line. If I'm not mistaken, this is the first time Canada has gone to the foul line in the second half. You look at the scoreboard and the stats, all is positive for Canada, but their foul shots. They have shot 22% at the line today. Meanwhile, Portugal knocking their free throws down after a rough start. They have a total of 58% to their name. Marie Grace Tolley gets both free throws down for a total of 4 points. 87-49. Tolley will head to the bench as most of the starters are out. And back on the bench for Canada as they seek their first win in Group B action. Day 1 of the FIBA U19 Women's World Cup. Nice fake out from Vieira as she skips it over to the corner. That doesn't fall. Followed up. Nicely played by Anna Marcus. Corner 3. That doesn't drop this time. Pulled down by Pacino. 100 seconds remaining in the game. In and out dribble. Marcus, too strong. More rebounds for Portugal. They have had one of their finest performances in the fourth quarter. If you take away the deficit, they are playing with great discipline. And they're playing strong underneath the basket.
Howell and Holloway sits out for what will most likely be the remainder of the game. More games coming up on the FIBA YouTube channel. Again, it's a pleasure to have all you joining us as we will step aside for a timeout. Earlier today, France defeated Brazil 83-47. But the storyline out of that game are the blocks. It was a block party for Brazil today. It was led by Julia Priest, who tied the all-time U19 record with 8. And apparently there's going to be a review. Let's listen in. And for those tuning in, the officials have gone to the table to have an official review on the last play. 1:23 remaining in the ball game. Canada with the lead. And as they do a quick review, Nigeria has pulled through with a 91-88 lead over China with 10 seconds to go in that game. That's going to be a close one, and when that game is over, we'll direct you to that game as soon as we can. Coming up in less than an hour, it will be Spain going up against Argentina. In less than 90 minutes, Japan will play the host team Czechia, followed by Israel versus Hungary, and Korea taking on USA. In the meantime, we'll see what the officials have determined. And it will be Canada ball. A big welcome to Daniel, who's joined the MVP membership. The FIBA YouTube membership. Glad to have you aboard, and we hope you're able to enjoy the outstanding features in the days to come. Olivia Leon. She was on Fuego from downtown earlier in the second half. 2 free throws are coming up for Rachel Okoko, the Ottawa native. Okoko, one of the many players that played at the FIBA U19 Women's World Cup last year in Irapuato, Mexico, where Canada was defeated by USA. Gave USA a run for their money in that tournament. Okoko, Parchment, and McKeer, part of that U17 team a year ago. And Okoko gets on the board, make it 88-49. The next game I will have for you will be later on, as Israel will take on Hungary. In the meantime, we approach the final minute of the ball game, and Portugal has played pretty strong. So Michael Cerroti will have the call between Argentina and Spain. Jacinda Govin will have Japan and Czechia. And outside of my call of Israel and Hungary, Justin Taylor will wrap day one up as Team USA goes toe-to-toe with Korea. Incidentally, all those commentators that I have just named, they're also part of the Discord Q&A session. And I will be on board for that very soon.
So be sure to head over to the Discord server if you have any questions about that. Basco leaving Freya on skates. But it's Portugal who answers back with a flurry. And it's Freya. Freya on the pass. The teardrop doesn't fall for Souza. Portugal has been very tough when it comes to interior play today. There was one possession where they had 3 offensive rebounds. 20.4 seconds remaining. There's going to be another official review. Portugal saying that Canada touched it last as the ball was approaching the sideline, as they were all fighting for the ball. Offensive rebounds definitely playing a key into this ball game. Between these two teams, there's been a total of 90 rebounds. 90 rebounds. A third of them have come off the offensive glass. Canada has 16 O boards and Portugal 15. And in the rebounding game, it's a plus 16. Canada leading that one 53-37. But that's neither here nor there at the moment, as they are checking to see who touched the ball last before it went out of bounds on the side. So first we see Marta Vieira tapping the ball, and then we see one of Team Canada's players going with an underhand to try to keep that ball away. It appeared to be and that's going to be tough to call. Unless the ball changed direction, we would have a surefire way to see who touched it last. Because if the ball did change direction, as you see, it's going down and it's still spinning horizontally, then Portugal might have touched it last. But if you see a sudden change, then Canada did touch it last. Great work from the FIBA broadcast crew to zoom in on this. And again, unless the ball changed direction, it would stay with Canada. So they're looking at it with 20 seconds to go. In the meantime, looking at the stats before we wrap things up here, there's been a total of 28 turnovers split between these two teams. Canada making good work out of it. 16 points off of those 14 turnovers from Portugal. Portugal leading in the block game 5-2. And now we have more angles of the final play. Again, for those just tuning in, and we want to welcome those who watched Nigeria beat China 93-88. Aaron Sanders on the call. We are looking at an official review to see who touched the ball last before it sailed out of bounds between Portugal and Canada. Canada will go up 1-0 in Group B play, and it will stay Canada way with 20.4 seconds to go. The ball did not change directions off of the replays that you've seen. So they will get possession. And Brooke McLeod will toss the ball in. Canada's next game tomorrow as they go against Nigeria. My friend from Australia, Jacinda Govin, will have the call for that. Hope you're able to tune in, as she has done commentary for a lot of Australian leagues, the WNBL, the NBL1. I think you will enjoy it. And Canada will keep the ball as Basco was fouled by Freya. Now Portugal is over the foul limit. Basco driving around. 0.7 seconds to go. It will stay with Canada, and for all intents and purposes, that will close things out. Basco will play it in, send it over to Okoko, and that's the ball game. Canada takes an 88-49 victory over Portugal in day one of competition. They go 1-0, and Portugal, you have to tip your cap to them. Despite the loss, they had a strong second half offensively and defensively. Yes, they started the third quarter very tough. It was a tough one for them as they got outscored 27-7, but they finished with great defensive effort, which is going to make them a threat on that side of the hardwood floor. So look out for Portugal in their smothering defense in the next couple of days. Team Canada making a statement here today with a 39-point victory after shooting close to 50% from the field, 54-37 in terms of rebounds. But Portugal stayed up with them as far as offensive rebounds are concerned. And we'll look at the final statistics for both teams. Portugal was led by Marta Rodriguez, who woke up in the second half, ended up with a total of 14 points. Clara Silva, their center, ended up with 12 points. She had an ice-cold second half, but came alive in the fourth quarter. Silas Swords led the way with 18 points, 5 rebounds, 2 dimes. Mila Holloway had 12 points. Olivia Leung, she gets the honorable mention as she was on fuego from three-point land, 3 of 5 for a total of 60, and she had 9 points to boot. For Team Canada, there were 4 players that scored in double digits. Holloway was one of them. Swords, of course, the second one. Avery Howell had a strong third quarter. She ended up with a total of 12 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. And Sierra Parchment, 10 points off of 57% shooting and 4 rebounds. Final score once again, Canada 88, Portugal 49. And this, the first game of both teams in Group B action. Coming up later on, it will be Spain and Argentina, as Michael Soroti will have the call for that one in less than 45 minutes. Jasenna Govin will have the call between Japan and Czechia. I'll be back for Israel and Hungary in a couple of hours. In the meantime, this is Aaron Sanders. Keep on watching coverage of the FIBA U19 Women's Basketball World Cup.